Hello guys. Um, yeah, looks like everything is working fine. Um, okay. So we go straight to the business of today. By the way, this episode 26. Yeah. Um, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, this is episode 26. And welcome guys to this new episode. And we will continue from where we left off yesterday, which was basically completing the UI for the details page. So we just concluded this yesterday. Adding these animations and adding these drop down lists and this review drop down. Um, so we completed that yesterday, and then adding these floating two buttons. These two buttons that are floating on the air. We added that. Likewise, also added these what's it called? This come again? Yeah, this button bar. Come on, why do I forget this? So basically, a button bar. So we added this button bar. Let's see, and so yeah, we're going to complete the rest of this today. We should basically feeding in the real data to it. Right now, these are fake data we have here, so we're feeding it into real data, and that will be it for today. And let's get on with this. And yeah, so let's work on. Let's fix this. Let's start with this. So if you click on this, it should actually take us back to the previous screen, but it's not working. So we will fix this right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Um, so this right here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah. So this right here is our details page or details screen, what you call it. Here is the button we are trying to change, which is the chevron left. We are going to add. Basically, we want to add gesture detector on it. So when tapping on it should take us back. And how to do that? Basically, put your cursor here, tap on this, wrap with a widget, and type in the widget we want, which is gesture. Um, so that's your gesture detector, and the untap. You want to call it method a function right here, and in here we are going to say we could actually use navigator.pop context. Basically, we can use get x1, so you can use get x dot back. So go ahead and do that. So click, save that. So let's see how that works. So tap on this. It's working. So go back again. Tap goes back. Tap on it. It goes back. We could actually go with this way. Move it. It still works. So yeah. So that's it. That's our first fix for today. And the next one will be, so let's go ahead and populate this with the real data we get from our database. So let's do just that. Right here in our home controller, so we go, let's see. Let's close this for now. Close this. Close this. And So I'm trying to close the stuff we are not using so that it should be easy for us to scroll on. So yeah, here's our home controller. So right here in our home controller, we have a list of psychologists right here. What we're trying to say is that when someone taps on this, we could have a variable called selected. Yeah, we could have that variable. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So first of all, let's create I think there's something we could do that will make this easy for us. We could go ahead and what I'm thinking we could go ahead and map this to what was it using? Um, so we could map this to this psychology to an object to a class object in our a class object in our code base so that we could actually access this using class fields. And I'm looking to see. Let's, okay, let's control this for now. We can make the changes later on. So let's go ahead and work with this. So first, let's have the variable we talked about here. So let's call the say final. So code is selected. Um, let's say RX. So we can select the psychologist. That's actually a list, but that should be an object. Okay, yeah. So that should be a dynamic, of type dynamic, and currently should be null. And so we want that to be null at the moment. And yeah, down here we have a a void function that we kind of like we use this function to create a selected user, and you could call that function set selected set selected psychologist. And currently we don't have this type in our. So basically, we could actually accept an ID of that psychologist. Okay. We could. So I'm trying to see what we could use to identify the psychologist right here. We could do that by right now. Let's use the index. So you could say index of this particular psychology that was tapped on, and right here you could say selected psychologist dot value will be psychologist. You could say psychology list, psychologist list dot where. So you could use our where. So since we are trying to get okay, so there's no need of using a where value here, a where modifier to search the list. Since we are using an index, we could just pass it the index since this is a list, and this will kind of like get us that particular psychologist with the index, the particular index we clicked on, and assign that to this selected psychologist, and we can make use of that. So we go ahead and save this, and we could use this what we have here. So go ahead and copy this, and here in home details, not actually in the home details, so that should be in our main page, main home page. We will go straight into this show filter list. So these are show filter list, and what we could do in here is that unplaced, we don't want to go to this details page. What we could do is that we call that function in our home controller. Wait a second. So you can say um, um, okay, I have to say what we want to do here. So okay, we could create a controller right here. So go ahead and copy this over. So do we have an issue and errors to fix? So we have 4 problems to fix. Um, okay. So the problem is basically from us. So we could just say home controller. So controller dot log. Um, other function set selected psychologist. And pass in the index. Yes. And close that off. We copy this over. So we won't be using that here. Save this. I could go straight to our controller, which is here, and put this here, which will copy it over. So whenever we set the selected psychologist, so we want to go straight to the home details page. We save this, we can go in here. Let's see if there's anything we have to fix. I don't think so. Yeah. So let's go over and test this out. Uh, so currently right now, let's say everything is going to work, but we won't notice any change. But let's type on this. So you have an issue right here. It says, okay, this should be map type. Um, no, let's try using this. Let's see. Okay, so we still have that same problem. Yeah, so basically the issue because of you having a null type right here. And think we could actually bypass this by creating a class that resembles um, our our JSON object. So I think that will make it easy to pass this around. So, okay, still have issues. Let's try this. If this doesn't work, we can go back to my suggestion, which is basically converting this to a class that resembles our JSON object. Okay. Let's see what is going on here. So let's use a print statement right here. We can say select the psychologist of value with the value property. tapping on this, we can check to see what's been assigned in here. So you have selected psychologist of currency, user image, you have place of work. Okay, let's go ahead and kind of convert this to a class that resembles our JSON object, which we could actually do right here. We have this application home, create a new folder here, we call the model. Right in here, we go ahead and create um, psychology. So, okay, in here, and go ahead and create a class called so, go ahead and create say final string. And basically it's going to look exactly like what our model will look in here. So you have experience. So each psychologist has let's see. Yeah, they have a name, minimum amount, experience, and a whole lot of stuff here. We are going to add those right here in our. Let me just minimize this. So yeah, let's get so we have final string of name. We have name, we name property. So we have another one, another string, and that should be for user image. We're going to call this user image. I have another final string by username. We already have a name that should be experience, and goes on. So let's add a star property. So I have star, and so we have early admits. So we're going to remove that underscore, call that early admits. We have another one. Okay, most of this shouldn't be a string. So this experience part is an integer, should be a number, an int, and the star side should be a double. And the area admits, where is it again? So the area admits basically be a string, and the minimum amount, is basically a number, and this could be a type of double. Let's give it a double. And next one will be, so we add a user image star. So we have specialization, which is a string, not a double. So I call this specialization. So I have another final, we call this. So we added this three. We added name, mean, experience, place of work. So we could add place of work. And that will be a string. And next one will be place of work, name, minimum amount, experience. So let's go ahead and add country and currency. So you could have final, so this should be country. And another one, instead of being a city, that should be currency. Yeah. So we could have the about section, right? Yeah, at the about section. Uh, so and we have diploma set. So the diploma final at ID we call um yeah, diploma and set. The certificate. Cool. So that's something we could add here. So somewhere here we could add a string. I call that UID for the user ID from Firebase. So UID for the user ID from Firebase. With this right here. So let's continue. So we have the diploma and cert, which is basically a list. There should be a list of type. So we call that a list of type dynamic. So added about. So let's add article section for the articles, and that should be list of so the articles will look something like this. So this is what the articles will look like. So let's say that's a list of dynamic. We call that articles. And so we added articles, right? Articles is added, countries added, diploma cert is added. Earlier at the minute we added education. So yeah, let's add education part. So we call that also the education is also okay. It's basically a map, not a list. So you could call that a dynamic for now. Should be education. And next one should be so have the education experience. We added that. Main amount we added, name we added, place of work we added, and review. So if you go ahead and add review. So reviews. This is basically a list of type dynamic for now. Then we could actually, most of these that has dynamic, we can actually create a type for it. And so specialization, star image. Yeah, I think we are done with this. So let's go ahead and finish this up. I think I can make my screen more bigger so that you can just see. Yeah, so the screen looks bigger right now. And so extend this. So let's create a constructor. So in this class, we already have that suggested. So that will look like something definitely like this. But we're going to add a required property at the back so that every single of them will be required. So it's a required, and we could say required. Oh, that for this. Instead of typing it, I can just copy that and paste it at the back of each of every one of these. Okay, so we got that. So that's every one of them. So let's create a factory method for factory constructor and basically a factory constructor. So user model dot from map type map for that data, and I'm going to accept another one for this UID. Yeah, in here, so we could say return. Okay, basically we made a mistake. We should not user model. So they should be psychologist model. And yeah, so we have the UID data. Uh, Data basically the name parts of the JSON. This one should basically be the JSON part should be user underscore image. This area limit should be this is how it looks in the JSON file. So area limit. Min amount should look something like this. Min amount. Data specialization. And yeah, place of work. Place of work doesn't look like that, so it looks something like this. So yeah, this is how place of work looks like. Copy that over, change this to it. There it is. So you have country, currency, about section, diploma, and SAT should definitely look something like. Okay, yeah. Let's copy that. So that's how it looks. So let's start in place of what we have here. So diploma, SAT, articles, education reviews, and lastly, what we could do, we could also convert this. I have another method that can help us to convert this to a JSON, and here it is. So you have a map of that to map. So basically, to map means return a JSON file of this, a JSON-like file of this, which is basically JSON is in form of a map. So we have UID to this, name to this, user image. Yeah, that's what's up. We go ahead and save this. Since this will help us, we copy this over, and yeah, in our home controller, which is basically right here, and so selected psychologist. Yeah, so our selected psychologist will basically look like this. Um, Likewise here. And let's go ahead and import this. Okay, let's save this. And we could restart using it right away here. And actually selected psychologist that is value, not this. So when we get this from the when we get this, which is selected psychologist from the list, that particular list, we are going to map it directly to yeah. So this over. So we map it to the object, to the object we created, to the class we created, create an object from the social should be something like this. So psychologist model dot from JSON. Um, this should be psychologist model. Okay, not from JSON, that should be from map. Um, and yeah, come on. We have a variable called UID, and for now, let's add something done here for now. Let's go ahead and save this. And go straight to test it out. So open this up, tap on this again, and yeah, you still have an issue. Was the same this time around? Okay, something's basically wrong somewhere in our code. Let's see that. It worked right now. There's definitely an issue right we were having previously, and I think we can. The one way to fix that is basically to actually convert all this list right here to start using our psychologist list model, which is this what you're having here, and that basically what we are going to do. Yeah. So right now we have this selected psychologist and it's working right now and the error has gone away. But right now we have an issue. And UID, how to get the UID of the psychologist, because right now these are psychologists we are having, but the user ID is not being we are not getting the user ID, which is basically it's not being returned from the from our Firebase collection. And we could actually do that from on beginning right here, whereby an initial stage, because here we at this initial stage we did get real data at this end, and it's returning the data from the psychology collection. We are actually returning them as a map, and that will basically it's not including the ID. Um, that's it. But we could actually fix this to return the ID for us, whereby we could. Is there a way we could? So whereby we could actually return a psychologist model which we created. So I will just show you a snippet of that, but we are going to fix that later on, not now. So we copy this. So what we could do right here to fix that issue. But if we fix it now, it's going to create a lot of errors for us, which we will keep on fixing today. But right now, I want to start fixing the error once we are done with this page. But let me show you what I mean. But so instead of returning the JSON data here, we could actually go ahead and return dot from map like this, and then map. And here we change this to return a list of psychologists, and this will fix the error, and the UID will be e.id, and this will fix the issue. And but this will create another issue which will result to us by return results where we need to change all this stuff right here. um, so for now, let's revert back, and we're going to change this later. So revert back to this, and since we notice that our selected psychologist is being kind of like collected and with no issues, we can try that again. So we can start using it. So if you tap on this, it's being created with no issues. So let's go back and start working with this. So inside our details page, the first thing we could do is to change the image we are having here. So we are going to remove this image, and what we could do right now is to say home controller with um, thought we had that. Okay, it was included, so just copy this over, and go ahead with what we have here, and add this. So call home controller. So say home controller dot selected psychologist dot value. So it should be dot user image. So and we're going to force unwrap this. So this is basically forcing unwrap it because it's thinking that this might be no, but I don't think it will be no since we are being pushed to this screen. That means this has been created. But we could make sure of that. We could make sure of that no safety by saying if selecting like that. It's not supposed to know, then we could go straight to the screen, which we can go back and test it out. So we can So it's still working. So in here, then we could use the where's it again? So this yeah. So here is the image. So let's save this. We yeah, and that's working. So if you look closely, let's start this. So let's tap another user. Okay, so we have another issue. Okay, that's now. Go ahead and pass an empty. Um, yeah, sure, sure. Okay, and that's working now. So basically, the issue we had was that it looks like most of the users doesn't have this diploma sat field in the Firebase collection that we created. So this user has it. So let's see. And so if you look closely here, you see that this user doesn't have diploma sat section, but this user has diploma sat section, which is this. So that's why it was showing that error because it couldn't find diploma sat section for this particular user we clicked on, and we fixed that by saying if you couldn't find this in any of the user, it should return an empty list for us. So that's how we fixed that issue, and so we can see that this is working. If you click on this, I see the image being added here with a different user. So that's working. So let's go ahead and change the names. Um, so changing the names will basically be the same way we did this. So not hard. So just copy this over. So the name here, we could just say, so that will change the name, and the next will be um, the carrier. Yeah, so we should go ahead and change the carrier specialization. So that's called specialization, right? And next one will be years of experience. We could make that to work by saying doing it this way, and that should be experience. And let's see which one again we need to do. So we have the custom rating stars rating. So this should be rating. Um, um, and here we have, yeah, I think we are going to have an issue right here because last time we checked if it's 4.8, because let me go back a bit so I'll show you what I'm saying. So if you go through, if so this is the custom stars rating. Go to the definition property. So yes, we are doing it. So basically, what we are doing is we are saying the rating that has been passed in, and we are saying if this, as long as is less than the rating, right? So keep doing what you are doing. But right now, if the rating is 4.8, 4.8, and this is like this. Let's say this is currently 4, and 4 is less than 4.8. So that will basically kind of like destroy this whole thing. But let's see that in action, so you know how to fix that. So let me show you guys that so you understand what I'm saying. So we call that star. Let me save this. Um, so we could see this clearly. And go scroll up. Um, let's tap on this first user. Tap on this, and so this first user, let's see the rating. What's the name again? So the name should be, so the username is Ifshenko Mango, and the rating, okay, the star is 3.4. Okay, this one. So let's say they want something that would actually get to 4. No. So this 4.8. So this one has 4.8. That should be the third user. So if you tap on this should be the third one. You see, there's an issue. So 4.8 is not actually 5-star rating. So if you look closely here, you see that this has 5-star rating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's 4.8, so it's not 5-star. That's causing the issue. So let me explain what is going on. So right here, because we are rendering these colored stars based on the rating that's been passed them. So we are saying if the rating we have, right, is if the current number of the stars are being added here is less than the rating we have, keep on adding that. But it gets to a point whereby the stars is 4 and 4 is less than 4.8. So since 4 is less than 4.8, we will add one more that's colored, making it 5. How to do that is to currently say, so let's see how to fix this error. So I have 4 point rating is 4.8. Maybe we could convert this to always be, let's see. So we don't need to run the, so we don't need to wait. So basically what I'm trying to do is to convert it to 4.0, so 4.8, and remove and forget about the 8. We could actually go ahead and run it. If you run it, okay, if we run 4.8, that will give us 5. And that's going to cause another problem. But we could say floor. So floor it will get us to 3. Cell will get us to, cell will basically round it to the nearest number. And that's basically round we do here. Round will get it to the nearest number. So the best option is to use the floor function. So we could go ahead and say rating dot floor before this. Save that. I think it's working. So yeah, we fixed the issue. So what we did is that we now remove the, so basically the user has 4.8, but in our code we are seeing 4.0 or 4. No, we are seeing 4. So that will fix this issue. So 4.8. So it will keep on working perfectly fine. Yeah. So let's save this and go back to our code. Here is our main page. So we changed the name, the specialization, the years of experience, the star feature, but we didn't change this. So let's change the about section. And so for the about section, what we could do is, so we have this with 4.8. We change this to the star the user has. So basically, they shouldn't be there. We could do that by saying, um, so this should be it. I copy this over, um, paste that here, and that should be two string. Convert it to a string because remember this is actually a double, and a double doesn't work with a text or a string. The test field is looking for a string, so you need to convert a double to a string. So save this, and we could verify that by opening a user with 2 years experience, with two stars, 2.8 stars, and you can see 2.8 stars. This is the user, so that's working 2.8. And we could next one is the about section description. We remove this. We're going to remove all these tests and paste it. They should call about. So save that, and that will fix the issue we should be having. So if you click on that again, so the about is basically we are getting the about basically from the Firebase right now and not the hard coded code. See, we remove the hard coded string for the about section. Then the education, we do the same for the education. And we're going to get that from our home controller dot selected psychologist dot value dot education, and education will throw us an error. So this will basically throw an error because our education part is a dynamic, is in this form, and so we want to get the details part of it. This is the details part. What we could do is to access the details part like this. We call details. So details, save that, and yeah, so that will not show an error. So it's working, you see. So it's replacing the education part with the value we get from our Firebase, and then we change these two so it will not be hard coded value. To change both of them, remember our education, and we assign year end and year stand. So this the first one is year end and the second one is year start. So this one, year starts, will be in this form, and we call the year underscore start. So there's the form. Let's see that. So that should be year starts. Yeah. So the other one, the last one, year end, should be it should be year end. And yeah, so that's it. So let's go ahead and save this. And it's working. So we didn't get any error. So that's working. Next one is work type. The work type is in form of, yeah, place of work. So place of work, that's what we are going to use here. Um, so go ahead and copy this and use that right here. We can say dot place of work, and that will fix the issue. And we have diplomas and sats. So this should be, yeah, we could fix this by saying, yeah, so diplomas and sats. Let me see. So we have which is dynamic, a list of type dynamic. called diplomas and sats, and yeah. Yeah, so this is it, diplomat and sat, and save that. And you see the changes here, and basically the diplomat and sat is 0, so there's nothing in it. So the user didn't include his diplomas and certification. That's why we are getting 0 right here. And then revision, the reviews, we could get hold of the user's review by still doing the same thing. So the total numbers of review, yeah, we got that from reviews.length. Save that. So this is not telling us that the user has 1 review, but if you tap on this, it will show you 2 reviews. So we need to fix this. And how to do that is remember the review section that we had. So we could also actually go to definition, and so wait a minute. So review test, review section, review test, and where is that? So here's the review test. And what we need is to have that in a list form. This to appear actually in a list form, not in a single form. So over here where we have this stuff, we could say one controller that selected review.map to list. Yeah, so it could do that review section. So home controller selected reviews.map, get hold of the dynamic reviews, and then we update that with this. So it should return something like this. But the review test should also have, let's say, dynamic. Dynamic because it's review. So it's in form of review, and it should be required. And to fix that, so we could just say no review test, and we pass in the review, which is a dynamic in there, and then we could go ahead and start using that review right here. So we could get the name. So inside the review, I have the name. There will be Anna. And let's use this first one. So Anna. It's really interesting if basically our review has more text than this. So let's do some magic. So we go ahead and copy this review item here, this text, or this. So we copy this. We just change this user's review to something meaningful. So we just updated it. So the user has it right now, and the name, still Anna, and that's still okay. So let's go ahead and add that. So that should be review. is dynamic, name part of it, which is name right here. And the next one is the date of the review. First of all, let's figure out the stars of the review. The star rating is called star. So we say over here we say review. It's called star. And you have the date, which is we passing the dates here. So yeah, date's called dates. So the date is called what? Okay. Review. In there, we tap into the date property, which is this date. And then right here is where we change this to be dynamic too. In here we pass in something like, let's say, yeah, I remember. So that should be review. That should be this. No, this one said. That should be said. Said. And I think we are done. So let's see that in action. Save that. Okay. We have some issues. Type of string is not a subtype of type of string. Okay, this basically is in a string form. So I think that's the reason why we are getting that issue. So we have to convert the star to actually to double. No, not this one. No, yeah, that should be star. Yeah. I think we can cast it as double. Did that help? Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's not a subtype of double, so we can cast it to double. So how do we cast? How do we cast that? Okay, so we could do double dot pass. So you can pass a string as a double by using double. Okay, yeah, that works. So we could actually pass a string to a double using this double dot pass. Yeah, so that makes sense. So that worked in our. We could actually scroll down to see that. So you could see. So this is how the review is looking. What does let's restart this. Let's scroll down. So we go out to the review section. Behold, we have one review and 5-star review and February 3.0. So that's working. So let's fix for articles section. For articles, go ahead and remove this dummy data. Okay, yeah, that's it. So we go back to so we did education section. Articles, where is it again? Okay, yeah, it's article section, and we should basically be returning for articles. We should basically be returning the articles the user has. So we could say right here, the articles counts, we say home controller articles.length. Yeah, that will return the total numbers of articles we have. And when we get the articles and we want to list the whole articles, what we could do is to use that in here. First of all, we could replace this image with the article image itself, and that will be something like this. Add this index and access the articles. So article has a body and the article has a picture property for the image. So that's called a picture. So let's save this and see what that looks like. So tap on this, opens up, and then we can scroll down. You see that the user has, what is it saying? What is it again? So it's a articles count. So you can see the user has one article, and you see the right image is showing up, not the previous image we were using. But this is making a mistake, so we need to change this to basically say the number of articles we have, and not what we are seeing this here. So to do that, so here's our article section. Change that up. Yeah, that should be articles.length. Save that, and now it's working. So you can see articles, which is one, and we can see the right article, the image. But let's change all these properties of it, these properties of the article. Here it says 15 minutes, which is hard coded. Let's change that to be dynamic. So here we call that minutes read. So how many minutes can this be read? So that's 5 minutes here, and so what we could do for this side, copy that, we'll say something like this. We could say sparsing, so an int, it's basically an integer. So int dot parse, right? We are passing a string in this form, article, this index, then with this property, get the property with this minutes read, and we could save this. And looking over it, it's changed it, so it's 5 minutes. So it's now changing 5 minutes, which is what we need. It's working. Next one, we to change the dates. So we are still hard coding the dates here. So we go ahead and yeah, so dates. But let's see if the property is actually dates. So it's dates. That's it. Save that. That's reflecting right here. It's showing up. And lastly, we have to change the name of the article. And so here is where we have the name of the article. Could change this. I say home controller.articles at index title. But let's see what it's called. So it's called name, not title. So we gave it the name property. So we have to change the title to name. Save that. And yeah, and that's showing up here. So it's working. So finally we are able to get the articles to show up here. And we get all the properties changed. and we could everything is working. So all this stuff is now being dynamically populated and not hard coded anymore. So we don't have hard coded properties. That's it for this section. So let's go back and try that for other users. So clicking on this, give us one article, one review. So we could tap on this user. Now we see the user image, the username, stars she got, everything about the user, the articles she have written. So she has written one article, and if you look, you see that the image is actually different from the image we got before. And so yeah, that's it for now. So I think we're done with details page, but that's not totally done because later on in the future, when we get to article section, this article section, we will need to come back and hook this article up so that when the user clicks on this, it will take the user to this article section here to read the article. Yeah, I'll basically take the user to the article details page to read the whole article. And then when the user taps on this, the user should favorite this. So this should be favorite parts. Basically, this should be favorite section, favorite articles for the user because this is called a favorite button. And I think that's it. That's what is remaining here. Every other thing is done. We are done with it. And let me see. Okay, yeah. One more thing is that this place is actually hard coded right now, and we need to change that. So we need to change this property because we are going to call that property to be 4.8 review out of our total number of review the user has. So if we scroll up, so let's go to the review section. No. So where is it again? So under our image, we have this, no, years of experience. Yeah, so here is it. So you can see this is hard coded right now, but how do we change this? So this should be total number of reviews the user have. Because we are getting this star rating from the user's review. And we could do that by saying home controller dot selected psychologist dot value reviews dot to string. Basically that's not what we are saying. It should be reviews dot length and then to string. Save that. Like you see, so we have one, but this should be converted to a string. And we could say something like this. And then this enclosure, then passing that. So we can escape this property, I think, by using the escape. No, I'm escaping that one. So we're trying to escape this. And, okay, thank you. That doesn't work. We could still achieve that by using string concatenation. So you can still use string concatenation by saying something like plus and Yeah. Okay, now this it should be plus. This way, yeah, and plus this. And save that. And yeah, it's working. So you have that in bracket. We could give it little space for it. And yeah, so yeah, it is. So it's looking good. So we are saying the user got 4.8 star rating out of one star, out of one review. So um, so I think that's the only one we need to change here. Let's see if there's anything else we need to that's hard coded. So none of this is hard coded anymore. None of this is hard coded. None of this is actually hard coded. Um, um, okay, I think that's it for this section. Let's move on to next stuff on the list. Basically, that would be right here. So this is done with this. Yeah, so basically working on the admission schedule. So this admission schedule is basically here. So when you tap on this, when we tap on this, it should take us to this page. Tapping on this button takes us here, and then tapping on this section takes us here, which is chatting with the user. So let's fix this one first, and let's get a new, go over here outside the home page because it's no longer the home page. So we're going to call that to be admission page, admission. That's admission in here. Should we? Let me see. Okay, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, that's okay. So we have presentation. So we are going to create a presentation folder for the experience part. And next one we basically an application. Call this application. And one more, let's say widgets, if we find ourselves using it. And yeah, I think this is working. 1, 2, 3. So let's go ahead and add the presentation screen. Called add. Admission screen.dot. It's going to be a stateful widget. Yeah, let's move this to the end part here. We're going to call this so for this admission. Okay. Right now we're going to delete this stuff. We don't need it. And import this. Since we imported that, and we're going to go ahead and return an empty container. Empty container. So go ahead and return, save that, and let's add that to our routes page. Delete this, delete this, delete this, delete, delete. So we're already left with, okay, that should basically be home. It does not home page, so delete the home page. So we are left with these two, and then we open up the routes section. We are going to call this static. So static class. Let's call that. What will make sense? So we want admission. Okay, I can just call that admission. Admission. Then add page at the end. I think that makes more sense. Admission page, and say admission page. That's good with me. Save that, and go to the page section of this, and we are going to add so we have another product gets page. And the name of the page will be using routes dot admission page, and we are going to return admission screen, and I think, yeah, so return an admission screen. So save this, and now we can hook that up, right? Delete. Okay, that's cool. Widgets, no? Presentation, India, home details, close this. So we want to hook it up with the button that will be clicked, so which is this particular button right here. And we are going to say, when you tap on this button, get dot to named. So we're going to the name screen. So the screen name. Okay. I think I have short memory. That should be this. Yeah, admission page. So go ahead and save this, right? And so let's test it out. So if you click on this, okay. Now I think we did something wrong. So tap on this again, tap on this. Okay, yeah, it's returning us to the screen. So here's the screen, admission screen. We could go ahead and return a scaffold. So let's return a scaffold, and in here we return a body, and in here we return a safe area, and in here we return a text for now. I'll give it a background color, which will be coming from so here it is, save that, and we're in admission page. So this is our admission page. We can call it admission screen or admission page. You can call it anyway. So right now, let's go ahead and start creating something that looks like this. First, we have a row widget that has a button right here, and then admission test. So let's go ahead with that. So remove this and start off with a column. Really makes sense. So yeah, we have a column that is going to have a start widget and a normal column and a column inside it. Because this button should actually be this button should be overlaying on the top. Yeah, I think that would make sense. It's actually overlaying somewhere, like what we have here. Because maybe if the psychologist has more time slots and a time slot fills up all these spaces, so this should be scrollable while this should be up there. So we start with a column because that's what we did on the details page. Okay, we started with a safe area and a stack widget. Inside the stack widget, it has a position widget that has a scrollable view. And okay, looking at this right now, I think I'm more convinced that the designer doesn't want it to be overlaid. The designer actually wants the button to be inside the column, which is something like this, because this is not overlaid. Yeah, if I'm right. So we have this, and you could see that somewhere here. Yeah, this too. So you could just leave the button in the list like that, not not overlaid. So you can just start off with column, and here it has a children, and the first one becomes a row, and the children on this one becomes the icon we use here, which is this. Copy that. We actually have a back button widget from Flutter, and we are busy creating our own. So we created this by ourselves. This was created by us, and right now we're using this from Flutter, which is back button from Flutter. You can actually leave it that way. So maybe if you look into our code and see there's a way to create something that we didn't know that exists, and right now we know that it exists, and we decided to use it here. It's still good, so you can just leave it here. Next one will be to add this admission test right here. So this should be centered. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do that. Has a text property. Called, let's go to our custom test widget. Oh, no. Close this. Close this. Okay, cool. See, brand images. No, not brand. Custom test. And so we call this admission page title. And should be the test. Oh no, so not this. So we copy this. So I'm looking at the test which is supposed to be copied. Okay, so there's a test. So we copy this test, paste it in here, and we go straight here, and now go ahead and start using it called custom test dot. Here we go, and we start, and that should be. We are going to get this from, what's it called again? Team, yeah, from our team, which is out of context testing. After testing, we tap into the headline, and this should be around headline 4. We're going to change the property by using copy width, and let's go ahead and start changing this. So it has a font weight of 500, size of 17, font weight, font size of 17.0. Save this, and as you can see, so here it is over here, but it should be centered. To center that, over here, put your cursor here, click on this and wrap it to its center. Okay. Okay. There's no shine to center. But we could actually, let me see. So since this is not trying to center itself, should this try? I don't think this will do it. Let me see. Okay, it will center everything, but that's not what we want. Just want to center the test. So we go ahead and remove the center widget, and let's try with alignment. I can say align, and then come on, center left. Okay, and that's not right here. I think we are left with the. We can actually use transform or translate right here, but I think that would look like an overkill. But we could use size box. So let's try with size box, but I know size box will work. Let's try 40. Um, so we have so 32 from the left, no? This didn't work. So I'm trying to use test align on it. That didn't work either. Um, so let's go back to using our size box right here. So we have this somewhere. Yeah, I think that makes sense now. And go ahead and save this. And we could go ahead and compare these both. There we go. So next one will be to actually work on this part. And so this what's it called again? This calendar right here. So I found a package, a Flutter package we could use to achieve this stuff. And the package, I will just show you. So the package is called Table Calendar. Maybe most of you have heard about it. So yeah, Table Calendar. Let me show you. So have Table Calendar, and so that's kind of like looking like what we need. So yeah, yeah, and we go ahead and add this to our project to start using it. Instead of creating something like this from scratch, and that we kind of like delay our progress. So let's add this one. So go ahead and add this Flutter pub add table calendar, and wait for the Flutter pub command to finish by adding this. And I think that is done. So we got that added. So let's see. So let's try using that. So let's try using that. So we have under the row widget, we could open a space for it over here. And how to use that will be um, okay. So this will be it. So copy that. We go ahead and paste that right over here. So import that, save, and there we have it. So here we go, and let's see. So there's a lot of changes we could do, but right now let's see how that looks compared to what we have, and I think it's looking good. It's looking good. That's good. So have this color, and you know the amazing thing. The amazing thing is that it's actually using the color theme that we provided. If you look, you see our color theme here. It's basically using that color theme. See, it's matching to our color, and yeah, this background, dark background for the test. That's basically what we needed. It's matching that, but what we need to fix is this. So when you tap on any of this, um, so yeah, this is right. If you tap on any of this, it shouldn't be this color, so it should be this color. So that's one we want. That's one we want to fix. So we're going to fix that from this to this, and we are going to remove this one and probably make this the center if that is possible. And I think that will be it. Before we do that, let's add this margin here and margin at the top side. Now we could do that by saying wrapping this in a padding widget. We could just say padding dots only. Yes. So let's say top. No. So that's 23 pixels from the top. From the top, and we will have to wrap this with a single side scroll view. Choose this, save. Maybe we won't get an error. So yeah, we didn't get an error, and that's it. And then top should be 23 from the top. On the left side, 16 by the two side. Let's say left, we have 16, 16. So yeah, that's working. So you have the strings to 16. That looks too much. Let's make it so we're like I think it's okay like this. That's okay for now. And let's go ahead and start seeing how to customize this here. So let's say So you can actually fix the heights. I think that's the meaning of row heights. Okay, no, the row height we can fix that. Those are the weak heights. Format animation duration. So you can actually add our own animation, kind of a bit, change the duration, change the animation curve, and so starting with, let's see what else. We could actually add a header style to that. So we have days of the week style. Okay, we have calendar style. So I think those are the ones we have to look at. These two. Okay, possibly these three. And let's see if there's something else. So let's start with days of the week. Right? Yeah, days of the week. Um, and yeah, set days of the week style. So days of the week style, and so we should have it's weekday style, weekend style. Let's change this to see what that will reflect to. Okay, so let's change this color to something like blue. Say colors.blue. Okay, that's not what we need. Let's go back. Let's try this one. So we say colors. That's that's where that applies. Okay, that's not what we need. And so since it's not days of the week, we need to style. See if the documentation will actually help us. Okay, let's go ahead and change. Let's try something. This one, calendar style. Okay, let's see what parameters is defined for it. Delete that. We have so range highlight color is this marker decoration. We have box decoration. Of shape is circle. Color is this. and we have today style. So we have selected decoration, range style. Okay, I think it will be selected text with selected decoration. I guess yeah. Selected shape box decoration, box decoration, and we don't need this. And basically, previously is box decoration, color, and shape is box or circle. You can keep it as shape. I say box by circle, and the color, since we want the color to be permanent, and we could just say app colors dot brand. That. Okay, let's see. Since that is not applying, let's refresh our page and see what's going on. Okay, still not showing up. So should have this circle. Let's see which one else we need to change again. Select it. So start with third style. None of this is basically changing what we have here. So we say selected day. Since this is returning day to date time, called as selected day focused day. And we are still going to change this letter on for now. Let's leave this way. Okay, guys, I think we got an issue right here. So, looking at it, we are almost past our time. So we are going to continue tomorrow. Basically, tomorrow we'll be working on these aspects, fixing all this, select this table, our calendar table, and once we get that fixed, but we'll still be using this plugin. I'm going to look into it to see how to change this stuff because we could probably change this. That's why this is created. And once that we work on that tomorrow and then work on these aspects. Then after this is done, we move to this path. As I say, the goal this week is to get this aspect done and then start with this section so that we could be able to launch this app by end of next month. So that's what I'm looking at. Yeah. So trying to work fast on this, and I might be streaming longer than 2 hours, maybe starting from next week, so that we could be able to finish this up. So that's what I'm looking into. Okay, so that guys, with that being said, so have a nice day. Also join me tomorrow where we start from where we stop today and kind of like try to get things done. That's it for today. Thank you. And also more importantly, guys, don't forget to keep on sharing the products, the stream, so that other people can join and also get us to increase our subscribers counts. And yeah, so we could reach more people. Thank you, guys.